Hello and welcome to the Queen Slayer. It's your girl, the Mad Queen. I actually wanted to make this video. Hopefully it's not going to be too long, but whenever this is a chatty video, I typically go on and on, so I'll try my best not to do that. I wanted to make a video to go over events because I have talked to a lot of people that are really stressed out because they're trying to do all of the events. And I cannot stress to you enough that you should not be trying to do every single event unless you're like some kind of whale that can afford to spend a lot of money on the game. Also, I want to say that when I say events, I'm typically talking about the Dragon Cup rallies as well. I don't know why I always just, I call them all events, but the Dragon Cup rallies as well. Let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead and look at the calendar here. So if we scroll through, obviously we can see that basically most of these events are just going to be on a cycle, really. And a lot of them are going to go with the events that are going on in the events section. Sorry, don't get confused because I keep calling the Dragon Cup Rally events. I'm sorry, the Dragon Cup rallies and the events kind of go together, but they're on a loop. And I can't even personally do every single one. So what you need to do so that you're not like stressing out and getting mad at the game, because it's okay if you can't do every event, all right? I know it kind of sucks, but there's like a lure in there, right? That's part of the gotcha element, so that you can keep buying some more energy and things like that, or gear charms or summons, so that you're always sort of feeling pressured by these events or these Dragon Cup rallies to keep playing, keep doing all this stuff. And it's a really good marketing strategy. I have nothing against the game for doing that. It's just a flat out copy from Raid Shadow Legends. If you've played that, then you know that they do the exact same thing. They've done it for years and they've made a lot of money off of it. So it's something that does work. You just have to be able to see what's happening and understand you don't need to do every one of these events. What you need to do is look through the calendar and pick and choose. That way you're not going to be super stretched out whenever you're trying to do these events. And don't do any of these events or Dragon Cup rallies if you're only able to do half of it. So look through the calendar. Definitely look through the calendar. Make sure that you're trying to pay attention actively. What's coming up, what's out now, so that you can actively mark out what you should be doing and when. Because it's just a marketing thing. So make sure that you are, oops, I'm pressing buttons.
Dad, I'm hungry.
Hi, Hungry. I'm Dad.
Why did you name me this way?
But just make sure that you're looking ahead because, like I said, I am not even able to do all of them. Especially when it comes to the gear upgrading events, I have a hard time with those because I have plenty of gold, but I've always had a lot of gold, and I go through a ton of gear charms is the problem. And whenever they have one of those after another, because we just finished one of those, that's hard. I wasn't able to compete in the last one, but because I didn't compete in the one that just ended, I think it was a couple of days ago or something, for upgrading gear, because I didn't compete in that one, I'm able to compete in the one that's going on now. Okay, so you have to really look at that. And I knew then, hey, I have a decent amount of gear charms, but I don't really have a lot. And the purpose of actually competing or doing these Dragon Cup rallies or events is really for those books, because we need those books now for masteries. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to complete it because I did have a decent amount, but it wasn't a ton. But I saved up again for a few more days, and I saw that this event was coming up, and then I've put everything into this event so that I could make sure to complete it. It's okay if you can't finish every event. Don't feel impulsive that you need to do this right now. I need to get my hands on this right now because these events are going to keep coming and keep coming. And honestly, unfortunately, one thing I don't like is that some of these events or Dragon Cup rallies, they're a lot of points and they're pretty expensive. I know that I personally, to do this Dragon Cup rally for Ash, I spent $20 on, it was actually a very, very good meal ticket. What was it? It wasn't just a meal ticket, it was a pack. But it had like 65 meal tickets, it had some diamonds, and a couple of other things, but obviously I was really looking at the meal tickets. And it was like $20. So usually they'll have a meal ticket for $10 that's pretty good that comes up occasionally, and that's $40, so obviously it's a little bit better. But I already got that like a week ago, and usually they don't give that to you very frequently, but I buy that every time it comes up. But I spent the $20 on that pack, and I've spent that entire pack $20 farming this event. I will say that I don't farm the dungeons unless there are Dragon Cup rallies or events that are 2 times. I do not do that. I don't do it anymore because you know that it's going to be coming, right? And honestly, if you spend that 2-3 days or however long that Dragon Cup rally or that event is out, and you saved all this energy up and you put it all into that event, there's no real reason that you're going to need to farm anything besides jelly and glyphs outside of those events. And that's actually a really good tip to go by. I've started doing this, and I almost forgot, so I'm glad that I'm mentioning it now because I really wanted that to be a part of this video. When it comes to doing these events, besides being able to fully complete them, I mean, you can 100% save up all of your resources, especially for these farming events, okay? I no longer farm any of the dungeons unless there's a 2 times event going on. But when I do, I spend so much energy. I've spent probably around 70 meal tickets and around 1,000 diamonds. But whenever this event stops, I won't farm any dungeons and I'll just go back to farming some glyphs and jelly. And then whenever the witch event comes out, which is going to be happening here pretty soon, I think it's also a Dragon Cup rally. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's going to come out this Friday night after the reset, which is Saturday. So I won't farm another dungeon again until that day, which is pretty nice because then I don't have to really stress about having a dungeon team built out for all of my dungeons, or at least the 3 main ones that I really like to hit. I just think that there's really no point in farming any of these events or any of these dungeons, I should say, outside of events, because you're getting rewarded for doing it anyways. So I highly recommend that you actually just wait. Don't farm these dungeons outside of the Dragon Cup rallies or outside of the events, because if you just save all your energy, you can farm it and get twice the amount of resources, which is amazing if you have slow teams, especially if you're farming those hell stages and you have slow hell teams. Because not only are you farming your gear and getting twice as much for twice the amount of time, you're also farming gear charms, which can also be used in gear events for upgrading gear. I can never talk, I'm sorry guys, but this is really important and I wanted to make sure that I add that. So before I go ahead and end this, I will say, just don't feel stressed, don't feel pressured, don't hate the game because it's a marketing ploy. There's no reason for that. There's enough reasons to be upset with Ace sometimes, although I do still love the game, and I think a lot of people were confused about that because one of my last videos where I was upset about the Magic Pass, oh my goodness.
I'm not smart.
I still do love the game. Oh my goodness, tongue twister. So I don't want anybody to be confused about that. I have no plans on quitting or anything like that, but if I don't like something, I'm gonna say it. So basically, whenever it comes to events when you're supposed to be collecting gear, don't farm dungeons for that. You can farm that in adventure stages just by collecting, just by farming for glyphs and jelly. Because you get enough gear from doing that you don't need to actually farm any dungeons. So save all of your dungeon farming specifically for whenever a dungeon event comes up or a dragon rally to get 2 times the amount. So make sure to look ahead so you know what's coming up and then plan accordingly. Before we go ahead and end this, I would like to advertise that we have some spots open in our guild still. We have 2 guilds, the Queen's Lair, which is for higher level players, and then the Queen's Watch, which is for lower level players, and anybody is welcome. If you're a new player looking for advice or an experienced player willing to give advice, join my growing Discord community. I'll leave the link for that in the description. Thanks for watching. Once again, it's the Mad Queen, and I'll catch you in the next video.